authors on the planet. Since her debut novel in 2012, she has sold over 40 million books and redefined the fantasy genre. Her latest is House of Flame and Shadow, the third book in her Crescent City series. This is amazing, actually. Just check this out. How many people actually showed up to her midnight release party last week? It's like Taylor Swift went somewhere. It's like crazy. Please welcome Sarah J. Maas. Welcome to our show and congratulations.
Oh my God, I can't believe I'm here and there are puppies.
I know.
Here. Is that where they are?
You came on a good day.
I'm taking all of them. They're all spoken for now.
Yeah.
They're all coming home with
That's
me.
actually really hard for me not to do. I'm like, I have 2 children and 2 dogs. I do not need any more in my house, but it's hard. They're so cute.
I know, my 5-year-old son came with me here today and he just said to me, Mommy, I want Snowflake.
That's hard.
I think our 14-year-old dog at home would have a heart attack and die if I brought home Snowflake.
That kind of energy is different.
Yes.
Because I brought home Charlie to Henry, and they're like 4 years difference, I think, and Henry was not impressed. Yeah. Yeah, I let my daughter get a dog, and Henry was like, what's happening here?
Oh,
like, yeah, they're fine now. But do you get starstruck still by authors like that you love?
Yes, I cry every time I meet someone that I really admire. I don't know.
It's have this reaction.
Really?
Yeah, because it's so intense that my body just goes to tears.
Yes. Well, I think it's when it's someone that I have admired and whose journey inspired my journey.
Yeah.
All of those emotions from like wishing and hoping to like get to that same point in my career,
inspiration.
Like it hits me at once.
Yeah.
And I'll never forget. I was at this book convention and I was on a panel with this author, Tamara Pierce, who I had like grown up reading.
Yeah.
I loved her books, and I was on a panel with her, like as a peer. Like that shouldn't happen. Like I am not smart or cool enough to be sitting next to this woman.
I have been in this situation musically. Yes. And you're like, why am I here?
And so I like walk in and like sit down next to her, and her name's Tamara, and I go, hi, Tammy.
You're like besties off the bat.
I wanted to die. And she just was like she was so gracious. She was just like, oh, hello, it's nice to meet you. And then I just started telling her like, I'm only here today because of the work that you did, because of the trail that you blazed.
I bet that made her
and
feel
I just,
good.
well, yes, but I started sobbing, like this, like, and not like beautiful tears.
Yeah,
like,
no Rachel McAdams.
Look, no, mine were like,
yeah.
And this was before a panel was about to begin. So there was a room full of people there witnessing this, like absolute meltdown.
Yep.
And thankfully she was so kind. And at the end of my whole like sobbing rant, she was just like, it's very nice to meet you.
You know what's interesting though is you have now fans that probably do that with you, that you inspire and you touch and they cry and you're like, no, I get it. I'm like this with other people.
Oh yeah, no, I'm like, don't ever be embarrassed by the tears.
Absolutely
because I
not.
am that person, and the tears are a wonderful thing.
Yeah.
Like it tells you that
it means it
something.
impacted you.
Yes, exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. But then my readers start crying, and then I start crying.
I'm a contagious crier as well.
Yes.
Someone cries on the couch and I'm like, oh man, it's over.
No,
and
it's
I
done.
just,
It's done. The makeup's ruined.
It's like I want to cry all the time. What's happening? I think it's called menopause, whatever. But you say like explaining the book is kind of hard, right? The new book.
Yes.
Why do you think it, what can you tell us?
Yeah, so this is the 3rd book in my Crescent City series.
So you don't want to ruin anything.
Yeah, so no spoilers. My lips are sealed.
Okay.
But this series is kind of like a mashup between like fantasy, paranormal romance, little urban fantasy. So it's a separate fantasy world, but like a modern world. So there are all these magical creatures living in that world. And there's
I'm in.
Lots of like action and a lot of like very steamy stuff, like lots of hot dudes. Yeah.
All right.
And then like it's kind of like all my other books. I've got a couple different series where they're all about like young women finding their strength, saving the day, kicking butt.
Love it.
Yeah, so there's that. That's a big part of it, and yeah,
it must be hard to not be able to talk about the book though, because you're like, oh wait, fans might not be caught up yet.
Yes, and book 2 ends on a major cliffhanger, so I can't even like explain the beginning, like just the general premise of this 3rd book.
Yeah. Is that normal, by the way? Like last night, I mean, even Vulture wrote something about you. Like, you did this release and like it just blew up. It literally was like Taylor Swift was releasing an album. Like all these people showed up. Is that normal? Well, I guess you feel like a tool answering that. Yeah, I was like, wait, that's a weird question. But I mean, that's amazing, the impact.
You know, this was actually my first event, like in-person event since COVID. Yeah, so this was kind of like my first time like back in the flesh.
Well, by the way, you're in demand. Look at that. Like, well, you're doing it right.
It was amazing. It was just amazing being out there and like seeing the readers face to face again after so many years. And
you've created this world, like whichever series, you know, they're addicted to or into. Like you've created this whole world that y'all are all a part of. That's really cool.
Yeah, no, I mean, it still feels like a dream come true. I wanted to be a writer since I was 16 years old.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and so to get to do
What
that,
made you want to, like, what turned you on to reading in the first place?
I mean, I was just like a weird kid.
Yeah.
I mean, I grew up during a time when like liking fantasy sci-fi was like not cool. Like you could get like thrown in a trash can at school for liking those things.
Yes.
And my parents were big readers, but they were more like intellectual readers. And so I was this like weird changeling child who just appeared and was like, I like fantasy and I like Star Wars.
Yeah.
And thankfully my parents indulged that and they, you know, let me kind of read where my heart wanted to go. And by the time I was 12, I knew that I loved reading fantasy novels. And then I just quickly realized I wanted to not just read them, I wanted to write them. And I wanted to write stories about young women like kicking, I don't know if I can say ass. Can I say ass?
Let's just say it. Kicking ass, yeah.
Kicking ass, and also like the romance. Like I didn't really like the books I read in school because there was never any magic, but there was really like not enough kissing for me.
Oh my God, your parents probably had a ball.
My parents had no idea what I was reading. Like
my parents had no idea, or my mom had no idea what I was listening to. I was like, oh yeah, I'm totally listening. Just Michael W. Smith, Mom. That's it. Yeah, it was like, which I love, by the way.
But I think it's nice when like your parents just like they don't hover too much and they just like let you like love the things that you're gonna love. And
I don't think she let me do that. She didn't know I was listening to TLC Red Light Special. Yeah. Really? Yeah. She didn't know.
See, my parents were just like, I don't know.
Yeah. I think there's beauty in that, and then letting you become who you're going to become.
Yeah. My 5-year-old son, he's already. The other night, before we went to the midnight release party, I got all glammed up, and I came out and did the big reveal to all my friends that were at my house, and they were all, you know, so happy. And then my son goes, "You look like an old rat."
What is it with sons? So my son will judge every outfit I wear. I come down to go out with my girlfriends, and he literally was like, "Oh, so you're gonna wear that?" I'm like, I was styled today by an actual stylist.
I know. Like, he saw me sitting in the chair for 2 hours having everything
This
done.
took work and time. And like, I don't know what it is about sons. They're very honest.
Oh my God, vicious.
Meanwhile, my daughter's just like, "You look fine, Mom. You look great." And she's like trying to like dance on coals to make it better.
I know. Yeah. No, but I like.
I mean, I guess I like that they're bold and honest. But you know, wow, I didn't ask.
I mean, old rat. I was like, well, you know what? Rats are very intelligent creatures, so I take that as a compliment.
Exactly. Turn it around, filter it. I like it. House of Flame and Shadow, the third book in her Crescent City series, is out now, and everyone is going home with a copy, you lucky people. Up next, we've got a must-see performance from the cast of Kimberly Kimber. We'll be right back.